আসসালামু আলাইকুম। আমরা কিছু বন্ধু মিলে পৃথিবীর দ্বিতীয় এবং আমেরিকার প্রথম এরিয়ার দিক দিয়ে যে চিড়িয়াখানা আছে সেটাতে চলে আসছি। এটাকে বলে ব্রঞ্জু। আমরা এখন মনিটর চলবো। জেমস কিছু বলো না, একটু স্টার্ট করলাম।
Hi, we are here to see the BronxZoo. Well, now we are on the
Stand clear. Closing
monorail.
doors, please.
Here. Thank you. Enjoy.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome aboard the Wild Asia Monorail. My name is Eilish, and I'll be your guide and driver for today. My first job is to make sure you have a safe ride, but I'm also excited to introduce you to all of our animals. I'm going to need everyone's attention for these safety instructions. Please remain seated at all times. Standing is strictly not permitted at any time during this ride. And please keep your heads, hands, feet, items, and children inside the car. Children, please make sure your parents are following these instructions. And parents, please make sure your children are following them as well. For those riding with us for the first time, welcome. For those of you returning, welcome back. Today I'll be sharing some stories about how we care for our animals here at the zoo and how it connects to the work of our conservation programs around the world. Now this is what we call our cornhole meadow, where we care for a different type of deer and one type of antelope. Towards the back, those pale gray deer are the Bachian deer. Recently, a researcher from WCS was able to confirm that Bachian deer still exist in Afghanistan after not being seen for nearly 40 years. And I'm sure you've also noticed that we've got peafowl in this area. It looks like one of them is having a standoff with the turkey right now. That turkey is not part of the zoo, just made it here somehow. Now peafowl, you may know them better as peacocks. That's what we call the male. Female peafowl are called peahens, and their children are called peachicks. They come from India. One of the great things about this exhibit is that we have a lot of space for our animals to roam and use how they would like the habitat. But it does make it a little less predictable where we'll find them on their ride. Like right now, for example, we will find them more later on in the tour. Out here at the zoo, we have a large number of deer, with up to 10 deer species in Wild Asia alone, and herds of more than 40 individual deer, which is something really special. Having such large groups of animals is how you would find them living in the wild. A big reason we maintain a large herd here at the zoo is to help keep the genetics of the species healthy. We work with zoos all over the world to ensure that we have a healthy genetic bank in our populations. Now, as we make it around this bend, we are about to enter the Mongolian horse enclosure. Believe it or not, what you are about to see are the last true wild horses in the world. Looks like they are on the other side of the meadow right now. We'll get to them shortly. Horses you might think of as wild in North America are actually feral domesticated horses that escape from ranches or farms. True wild horses, like the Mongolian wild horse, otherwise known as Shvaski's horse, were never domesticated. They look a little different too. As you can see, here's one of them right now in front of us. You could also see a mother and her baby foal in the back. Looks like he's taking a nap right now. He was running around earlier. Now that foal, it was born just 2 weeks ago, actually.
2 weeks ago, the born, baby born.
Now, as you can see, they are shorter and stockier, and they don't have bangs over their eyes like domesticated horses do. Mongolian wild horses actually went extinct in the wild in 1969 due to a number of things, including habitat loss, conflict with humans, competition with livestock, and a series of harsh winters created by changing climates. Recognizing the threat, zoos like the BronxZoo started maintaining breeding populations and were able to keep species alive in human care. Zoos around the world collaborated to ensure a genetically diverse population. It took a lot of planning, a lot of work, and a lot of care. And the hard work paid off. In the 1990s, wild horses were the first species to return to their native habitat after going extinct in the wild. This return gave the global community a blueprint on how zoos can work together to protect species against extinction. Today, there are a few hundred wild horses living in Mongolia and China. We have continued our breeding programs, and over 50 horses, including the one you saw today, have been born here at the Bronx Zoo. We're proud we can play a part in making sure that these horses will be around for a long time. Now, as we reach the top of this hill, we will be entering our next area, which is the gaur enclosure. Now, gaur is spelled G-A-U-R. Gaur are the world's largest wild cow species. A fully grown male gaur can be up to 6 feet tall at the shoulder and weigh up to 2,000 pounds. This can present some challenges for our keepers. An important part of caring for these animals is moving them from this area you see here to their overnight habitat in the far back corner. This process is called shifting, and here at the zoo, animals move between these areas every day. So how exactly do you shift a herd of 2,000-pound animals? You can't just go out and push them. Keepers have some tricks up their sleeves. They know these animals well, and know which ones will move for grain and hay, and which ones will move for fruits and veggies. Once you get the right ones moving, the rest are soon to follow. Sometimes our keepers do have to get creative. When you gaur join our herd, having a trail of herd poop can encourage them to follow their way into a new space and make them more comfortable. Now it looks like most of them are on the other side of the field right now. If you look behind the fence, you can see them on the other side. We'll get a closer look at them once we go around the bend. We get to know these animals well, and they get to know us. Gaining trust helps us work together. Even though gaur are massive animals, they still have to be alert in the wild. Around this corner, we are going to meet a larger relative of their apex predator. Weighing between 250 and 350 pounds on average, a bite strength of 1,000 pounds per square inch compared to the human 162 pounds per square inch, 3 to 4 inch canine teeth, carnassial back teeth that act like scissors to shear meat, a tongue rough enough to strip flesh from bones, sound-deafening padded paws with 4-inch retractable claws, and a sense of smell able to track prey for miles, even through snow or dense forest. We have the apex predator of China, Eastern Russia, and the Korean Peninsula. You're gonna want to stay seated because you don't want to fall out here. We are about to meet our Amur tiger. Even though they are apex predators that can prey on animals bigger than them, believe it or not, tigers exhibit a few types of behaviors you might see on a domesticated cat, just on a smaller level.
Tiger!
And here he is. As we enter, he is towards the left side of the field.
Tiger!
That is our male Amur tiger, and his name is Dragon.
Tiger, welcome to our.
And
Thank
also
you,
want to
Mama.
remind you that standing is not allowed at any time of this ride, please. Standing is not allowed at any time, please. Thank you. If you look around the exhibit, you'll see different types of enrichment. Enrichment is anything that keeps our animals physically and mentally healthy, and also brings out their natural behavior. While you might give a cat a scratching post, we have to give our tigers entire tree trunks. This allows them to scratch as they would in the wild. Anakin has nothing to worry about because he participates in training sessions where keepers can inspect and trim his nails as needed. Now, do keep in mind, tigers are solitary creatures, which means they like to be alone. That's why you'll only see one of them in the field at one time at most. If you'd like to see more tigers, you can visit our Tiger Mountain, located one shuttle stop away from the monorail. And as we leave the tiger zone behind, we'll be entering the back of the gaur enclosure. You can see them much closer from back here. Now take a look at the gaur's horns. You can tell whether they are male or female by the way they curve. If their horns curve inwards, those are the female gaur. If they curve directly upwards, those are the male gaur. As we leave the gaur enclosure, here we are entering the back of the Kanha meadow. This is where a lot of the deer went. If you see a deer with spots, those are the axis deer. You may know that most deer species start their life off with spots, but they fade as they mature. However, the axis deer will keep their spots for their entire life. Now those brown deer are the Barasingha deer. They're also known as the swamp deer because they like to hang out in the marshlands of India. Now as we make it around this bend here, coming up we are approaching our babirusa, which is a type of wild hog. Now hogs can be very shy, but they can build relationships with their keepers. Take our female Ivy. She was very shy when she came to us at the age of 2. Little by little, her keepers Phil and Mary were able to win her trust and build a relationship. When Ivy started showing signs that she might be pregnant, she trusted them enough to apply a jelly on her abdomen and use an ultrasound wand. Now, in this first field, we have a male babirusa towards the front. It looks like he's a little shy right now. And in this next field, we have another male babirusa, also towards the front. Speaking of relationships, we are approaching some big animals who have big relationships with their keepers. If we look down here towards our right, next to the fence, we have our female elephant, and her name is Patty. Hello, Patty.
Oh, elephant.
Now, elephants are extremely intelligent, and at her age, nobody can tell her what to do. As a matter of fact, you can't tell an elephant to do anything they don't want to do. Also, I gotta remind you guys to please take your seats. Standing is not allowed, please. Sorry, and thank you. Sometimes they want to stay inside, and sometimes they want to be outside. Sometimes they want to participate in training sessions, and sometimes they don't, and that is okay. With the relationships our elephants build with their keepers, we're able to have training sessions. Guys, if you don't sit down, I'm gonna have to skip the elephant. Please take your seat in the back. Thank you. As we leave the elephant zone, we will be entering the zone of another large land mammal. It looks like she is on the other side of the field right now. Just gonna speed the train up a little so we can catch up to her. Now in this enclosure, you'll see we have a mud wallow here. That is our rhino's favorite resting spot. Rhinos will use these walls to stay cool and also help keep pesky biting insects off their skin. While our keepers help maintain this muddy pool, the rhinos will use their feet and horns to keep the walls dug out just like they would in the wild. And while the mud bath is a great way to keep their skin healthy, sometimes they do need a little extra treatment from our keepers. Believe it or not, rhinos can develop allergies and rashes just like we can. Rhinos have a keen sense of hearing and a great sense of smell, but because they don't have the best eyesight, they can be a little jumpy. Now as we make it around this bend here, we can see our female rhino. She is in her mud wallow right now, and her name is Priya. We are able to figure out what allergies are at play. We even have one rhino with a sun sensitivity that requires sun breath during the sunnier parts of the year. As we leave the rhino area behind, our observation skills are about to be tested. In the next few exhibits, we are going to be looking for different type of deer and one type of antelope. I'm going to let you in on a little secret about working with animals. Sometimes everything goes exactly as you would expect, and sometimes it really doesn't. One of the uncertain times of year is spawning season. With so many deer species, this area can get a little busy. Our keepers prepare for everything. They monitor the herd and record who's expecting. When it comes time for a fawn to be born, that part is still up to Mother Nature. In the wild, you don't want to show that you might be slower prey because they're carrying a large fawn, so it can be very hard to tell when a female is expecting. Now right here in front of us, we got the hog deer. Those are the small deer you see in front of you. They get their name from their hog-like appearance, as you may be able to guess, short and round. Now this very small deer right next to the fence, that's slightly red in color, is the Indian muntjac deer, also known as the barking deer. The largest deer you'll see in this area are the sandbar deer, which are the largest deer in southern Asia. Males can grow up to 5 feet tall at the shoulder and weigh 650 pounds. Another large animal you'll see here are the nilgai antelopes. Those are the animals with the stripes on their hooves. Most of them are sitting next to the fence right now. They're the largest of the Asian antelope species. Sometimes we do have fawns born on exhibit. Us guides and even you guys are the eyes up high. Since we are constantly scanning the exhibits, we can report anything we see to the keepers and keep them informed. It's not unusual for an unexpected calf to make its way into the barn at the end of the day, but sometimes it could be one less. In the wild, many deer often move their babies shortly after birth and hide them in tall grasses, thick brambles, and in tree hollows. So imagine this. You're a keeper at the end of a long day. In comes the herd and all the adults are accounted for. You're expecting 5 fawns, but you only count 4. One of them is missing. It seems that mom has followed her natural instinct to stay with her herd, knowing that her baby is carefully hidden. Now back there we got a few brown antlered deer towards the back of this field, are also known as Elk's deer. So now it's time for the keepers to go out and scan the habitat to locate a very well camouflaged fawn before they can call it a night. After some searching, calf number 5 is found and reunited with mom. Scanning the exhibit before leaving is a part of the routine, but a well-hidden calf can push dinner plans back a bit. It's a great reminder that no matter how much we plan, these are still wild animals making their own choices, and we would have it no other way. Now in this field, we're going to be looking for really small deer. Here's one in the middle of the field right now. That is a Chinese tufted deer, and they get their name from the tuft of hair that's on top of their head. Now don't be fooled by their small size, that is not a baby deer. That's a fully grown adult Chinese tufted deer. Also known as the vampire deer, because the males have tusks that resemble fangs. As we make it around this bend here, get your cameras ready because soon we will be passing over the highest point of this tour at over 30 feet in the air. We are now passing back over the Bronx River. This is also one of the best views in the zoo.
Wonderful river.
Now our next animal is one that sometimes stops us in our tracks, no pun intended. As we enter this field, if you look up at the rocks, you can appreciate one of the most majestic animals on the ride. Our markhor goats. Looks like they're playing on the logs as well. Now the markhor goat is a type of wild goat known for those incredible spiral horns. Those spiral horns not only act as a deterrent to predators who may think they are easy game, they are also used to spar against other males in competition for females. Males will display their tongue to females in an attempt to attract them, and the female markhor goat find this irresistible. Looks like we've also got a few Himalayan tar back there. Those are the animals with the shorter horns that curve backwards. Fun fact about these markhor goats, despite being the largest wild goat species in the world, they can jump up to 6 feet high in the air without a running start. Also the national animal of Pakistan. And now time for a zoo favorite. Keep an eye out for the flower fox, also known as the bear cat, also known as the cat bear, also known as the Himalayan raccoon. Looks like he is walking at the bottom of the tree right now. We have a red panda, Linus. Looks like he went back into his cage, into his enclosure. Oh, there he is, coming back again. And now, if you can't see him, we do have more at the Himalayan Highlands exhibit, so please take your seats. Our red panda is not related to the giant panda, and also they had the name Panda first. Now, everyone loves the inside scoop, so here's one for you. One keeper who worked with them shared this fascinating tidbit. Red pandas have some of the least smelly poop of any animal in the zoo, and that's because they eat mostly bamboo and fruits. So compared to some of their neighbors, they are actually pretty polite from a scent point of view. And again, if you didn't get a chance to see him, we do have more red pandas at the Himalayan Highlands exhibit, located just a short walk from the monorail. Alright, we've met a lot of animals today and hopefully received a little glimpse into what it takes to care for them both here and in the wild. And as we make it around this bend, I do have to ask you guys one question. You can say the answer out loud or keep the answer in your head if you want. That is, who of these is important in saving wildlife and wild places? Is it A, animal keepers and tour guides, B, wildlife scientists and eco guards, C, guests visiting the Bronx Zoo and riding the monorail, or D, all of the above? This isn't your first time here, is it? If you guessed D, you are correct. It will take the effort of everyone here. Everything you've seen from Patty the elephant to Anakin the tiger to the herds of deer is a part of a much bigger story. It's a story about care, about relationships, about survival, and about the work it takes to protect wildlife and wild places both here in the Bronx and around the world. And that includes you. Your visit is an act of conservation. If you want to have a bigger impact, stop by one of our gates and ask about becoming a member. Now, I will be stopping the train here for just a few moments. I gotta reset the train for the next tour. But don't worry, this will not take too long.
Now can you stand up?
Alright everyone, thank you for your patience. I'll get the train moving again. As you pull into the station, please remember to stay seated until the ride comes to a complete stop. Again, thank you for your support in helping save wildlife, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your visit here at the Bronx Zoo. Thank you guys.
Like darky elephant, darky rhino, and
Now, as we leave the train, please make sure you watch your step. Those in the back row, there is a step down. Those in the front row, there's a step up. Make sure you look around. Make sure you don't leave anything on the train. Here we are, everyone. Doors are opening. Enjoy the rest of your day at the Bronx Zoo, everyone.
সকলকে ধন্যবাদ এই ভিডিওটি দেখার জন্য। আর এই ভিডিওটি বেশি বেশি করে লাইক, কমেন্ট এন্ড শেয়ার করুন।